Man, this Charlie Kirk thing is just heartbreaking. 31 years old, speaking at a university, and someone takes his life because they didn't like what he had to say. That's not just politics. That's tragedy. That's a human being. A father, a husband, gone. I keep thinking about his kids. Imagine being a child and asking, "Where's Dad?" And someone has to explain something so violent, so senseless. It's gut-wrenching. No matter where you stand on his politics, you can't look at that and not feel sick to your stomach. This should scare every single one of us. Doesn't matter if you're left, right, libertarian, whatever. When people are being shot on stage for speaking, that's the end of the line. That's the collapse of everything we say we stand for in a free country. But here's what I hope. Maybe this shakes people awake. Maybe we finally realize, holy shit, this tribal hatred we've been feeding is toxic. Maybe people start saying, I don't agree with that guy, but he's still human. He's still someone's son, someone's dad. Communities can rally after this. They really can. I've seen it happen before. People want peace, safety, sanity. Maybe this becomes the signal flare that says, enough. We've gone too far. Time to bring respect and decency back, even when we disagree. Now here's the part that pisses me off. Because this didn't just happen out of nowhere. We've built a culture that demonizes people constantly. A culture that makes money off outrage. That treats your opponent not as human, but as the enemy. That's gasoline on the fire. You can't spend years blasting people as evil, a threat, dangerous, and then act shocked when someone takes that literally. That's what happens when the rhetoric never stops. Someone eventually says, fine. If words aren't enough, bullets will do. And that's not just on the shooter. That's on us, on the system, on the culture we've let grow around us. If we don't slam the brakes right now, this won't be the last time. That should terrify you, because history shows exactly where this road leads. You silence one side with violence, the other side says, okay, we'll do the same. That's tit-for-tat, chaos, civil war vibes. It's not dramatic, it's real. Societies collapse this way. This is the point where you decide whether to wake up or let it burn. Look, I didn't always agree with Charlie Kirk. A lot of times I thought he was too extreme, sometimes just playing the crowd. But none of that matters. Because this wasn't about ideas anymore. It was about whether speech can exist without fear of death. I don't want to live in a world where people are afraid to speak, where stepping on stage or posting an opinion online feels like a risk to your life. That's insane. That's not America. That's not freedom. That's intimidation through terror. We need sanity, humility, kindness. Doesn't mean no arguments. Argue all you want. Protest, write, debate, vote. But do it without violence. Once you cross that line, once bullets replace words, you've destroyed the foundation of the whole thing. So, yeah, I'm heartbroken for his family, his kids, this country, but I'm also fired up. I don't want this to fade into another headline. We can't scroll past and go, crazy times. This is a turning point. We either change or it gets worse. We owe it to each other to demand better from media, politicians, ourselves. See each other as human beings again, not caricatures, not enemies, just people. People who deserve to live, even if you can't stand their ideas. Charlie Kirk should still be alive. The best way to honor him is to make sure this doesn't become normal, that his death isn't just another blip in the news cycle. It should be the moment we all stop and say, enough. We can do better than this. If we can turn this horror into a wake-up call, then maybe something good can come out of it. Maybe we can actually start rebuilding some sanity. That's my hope. That's my challenge. And that's my promise. I won't stop